Writing is actually the second part of your exam. So you will do your writing straight after your speaking. So you won't need your headphones. So it's just you typing on the keyboard. So we're going to have a look at summary written text and also essay writing, as well as some common mistakes that you make in writing. For PTE writing, you will normally have 50 to 60 minutes. It really depends on how many questions you have for summary written text and for the essay writing. For the written text, normally it will be 2 to 3 questions and 10 minutes each. Yeah, 10 minutes for each question. And for the essay, you have 20 minutes for each question and you have 1 to 2 essay. So even if you complete your writing perfectly, you will still not get 90 points for writing. And the reason being is that there are other tasks from the other modules that contribute scores to your writing. So first of all, it will be reading, fill in the blanks, reading and writing, drop down. Secondly is listening, summarize spoken text, then listening, write from dictation, and listening, fill in the blanks. So all of these tasks over here that I've shown you, they basically give you more points to the writing than summary written text and your essay. Many students, when they fail writing, they immediately go to the writing part, but it's not true. Yeah, you have to pay more attention to the other writing related tasks. These are the ones that will give you the majority of points to the writing part. In this task, you will have to read the passage below and then summarize it using one sentence only. Yeah, you have to type your answer in the box down here, and you have exactly 10 minutes to finish this task. So no more than 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes finish, the system will freeze and will ask you to click the next one. So you can't continue typing. And this task not only checks your writing, but it will also give you points for reading, which is why it's so important. Because generally reading in PT is relatively hard. You have to try your best to gain points from other tasks. Like in this one here, you also get points for reading. Normally on the left corner, they will show you the word count, like how many words you've written, which is very good. So you don't have to physically count how many words you've written. And on the right corner, normally they will have the timing. So you can check how much time you have left. So let's have a look at marking criteria. In the first line, you can see that it gives you points for communicative skills of reading and writing. And the first thing that they will check is the content. And interestingly, if you fail content, so if you get 0 point for the content, then what happens is that the system will stop checking the rest of other criteria. So it will not check your form or grammar or vocabulary, but you will immediately get 0 point for the whole task. You have to get at least 1 point for content in order for the system to continue checking the form or grammar or vocabulary. So once you pass your content, you also have to pass your form, because if you fail your form, then everything will be 0 as well. So these two first ones are the most important, the content and the form. So even if you get 0 point for grammar, you can still get points for summary written text. But if you get 0 point for content or 0 point for the form, then everything will be 0 too. Okay, so how can you get points for the content? The answer here is keywords. Even though they tell you here that you get 2 points if you provide a good summary of the text or relevant aspects mentioned. You get 1 point if you provide a fair summary of the text, that means 1 or 2 aspects. But basically, it's all about keywords. Secondly, the form. So you have to write a complete sentence. So it has to start with capital letter and it has to finish with the full stop. And you have to write from 5 to 75 words. But normally I will recommend students to write 70 words. I'm just going to write here for you. So 70 words. So why do I recommend 70 words? It's because we want to get as many keywords as we can. And of course, you've seen people writing 30 or 40 words. They can still get a high score. But here, just to be sure, we want to get as many keywords for the content, for the reading, not just for writing, but also for the reading. So I always recommend writing 70. With vocabulary, you get 2 points if you have appropriate choice of words. You get 1 point if it contains lexical errors, but with no hindrance to communication. And 0 point has defective word choice, which could hinder communication. And the only way you can avoid spelling vocabulary is by not paraphrasing. You don't really need to paraphrase. I used to think that I have to paraphrase a lot when I started BTE, but then after doing many experiments and seeing this from students, I realized we don't really have to paraphrase too much. We can just keep the same wording and still get a really high score. So while practicing, you can only type and you can't copy and paste. So the actual copy and paste function will be disabled. So you will not be able to use the copy and paste function. So it means that even at home, when you practice, you shouldn't be copying and pasting the sentences, because when you copy and paste, it only takes you like 2 or 3 seconds, right? But when you type the sentence, it might take up to 1 minute. And also when you type, you're more likely to make spelling mistakes. So at least you know where you're doing wrong. If you practice at home, please type everything. While doing this task, please check your word count carefully, because you don't want to go over a word count and you don't want to go over time too. Like, I mean, you're not going to be given more time, but I mean, make sure that you finish on time. It's better for you to finish before the given time. So maybe you should finish within 8 to 9 minutes so that you have more time to proofread your answer too, because while proofreading, you might find some spelling mistakes too. So we're going to have a look at one example of summary written text. So let's have a look at this one over here. Now I'm going to show you some tricks that you can use to do summary written text. The trick is that you don't really need to understand the whole passage. Yes, you don't have to understand everything. Generally, what we need to take is we need to take the topic sentence. Then we're going to take some keyword sentence or sentences. Yeah, so it can be 1 or 2 sentences. And then we take a conclusion sentence. Okay? Or even we can take 3 completely different sentences if you want to, but I normally prefer these 3. And how can we connect them? So you connect them with as, the word as, or and, yes, or but, and then with the conclusion sentence, you connect it with semicolon over here, and then full stop, and it will be 70 words. So let's read the first 3 sentences to see which one will be our topic sentence. So American English is without doubt the most influential and powerful variety of English in the world today. There are many reasons for this. First, the United States is at present the most powerful nation on earth, and such power always brings with it influence. Okay, so when I'm skimming through here, I can see American English. So definitely the first sentence is our topic sentence over here. So let's just take this. So American English is without doubt the most influential and powerful variety of English in the world today. Okay, so that's our topic sentence. And then instead of going straight to keyword sentence, we're going to find conclusion sentence. So let's have a look at, normally it will be the last sentence. Okay, unless it's very short, then we're not going to take this. Okay, so in short, the increased influence of American English is caused by political power and the resultant diffusion of American culture in media, technological advance, and the rapid development of communication technology. Okay, so sounds about right. Let's take this. But we're not going to take linking words here, in short. Just going to take it without it. The increased influence of American English is caused by political power and the resultant diffusion of American culture and media, technological advance, and the rapid development of communications technology. Okay, so now let's just go and find one more keyword sentence. It can be, you know, the second sentence or the third sentence or any sentence that you feel that it has a lot of different keywords. Okay, let's have a look here. There are many reasons for these. First, the United States at present the most powerful nation on earth, and such power always brings with it influence. Okay, we can take this one. Indeed, the distinction between a dialect and a language has frequently been made by reference to power. As has been said, a language is a dialect with an army. Okay, can you see here the word dialect is repeated twice? Dialect and okay, language also repeated here twice. So must be the keywords over here, and we can take one of these two as well. Okay, so let's just delete this one first so that we can see how many words we have written. I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, so far we have 46 words. Okay, so remember we're using the word as, okay, to connect. As, and then let's take this one here, the United States, okay? The United States, and I don't really need to write is at present. Let's just is the most powerful nation on earth, and such power always brings with it influence. Okay, check spelling, earth. Okay, and remember I said this one, language and dialect. Yeah, let's just include this. And language is a dialect with an army. Okay, and then semicolon. Remember we have semicolon over here, and that's it. So let's just read the whole thing because we have 73 words, but I want to keep it within 70. So American English is without doubt the most influential and powerful variety of English in the world today. As the United States is the most powerful nation on earth, and such power always brings with it influence. And language is a dialect with an army. The increased influence of American English is caused by political power and the resultant diffusion of American culture and media, technological advance, and the rapid development of communication technology. Okay, so I think what we can do is, can you see here American English here and American English here is repeated? So we can just remove one of them. So you can say, so it's increased influence and remove this. Okay, it's caused by political power. Okay, it's yeah, okay, and resulting division of American culture and media, technological advance, and the rapid development of communication technology. Okay, so that's it. Yes, very simple. To be honest, I used to think that we have to put more keywords and connect and use template, but the truth is I've been using this method quite often and it always works. So I believe that it will really help you in the exam. It will shorten time that you spend on this task a lot. Maybe we can try another one. So let's try this one. Again, yeah, we're going to take the topic sentence. Let's read the first two sentences. When the Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799, the carved characters that covered its surface were quickly copied. Printer's ink were applied to the stone and the white paper laid over it. Okay, so I'm going to take the first one because I can see here Rosetta Stone was repeated again, and the first sentence seems like a topic sentence to me. Okay, let's just take it and type everything. When the Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799, the carved characters that covered its surface were quickly copied. Okay, and then we're going to take the conclusion sentence. Let's read the last one. A small square at the bottom left corner of the face of stone was left untouched to show the darkened wax and the white infill. So a small square at the bottom left corner of the face of the stone was left untouched to show the darkened wax and the white infill. Okay, and then what about the keyword sentence? So I can pick anything from here that I feel that is a bit repeated. And if we look here, we can see that cotton wool swab was repeated twice. Cotton wool swab and then purified water here. And we have purified water here too. Okay, so both sentences have something with cotton wool swab and purified water. And then grease from human handling here, as well as grease from thousands of human hands here. Okay, so I think this sentence is quite good for us to include. Let's just include it here, comma, as grease from human handling or handling a coating of carnauba wax from the early 1800s, and the printer's ink from 1799 were cleaned away using cotton wool swab. Okay, and see that we're going over word count already. So let's just make it a bit shorter. Swabs, we're not going to list everything. We're going to take the two that repeated, cotton wool swab and purified water. And purified water. And then semicolon. Okay, so 70 words. So let's see what we can cut down to keep it 70. When the Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799, the carved characters that cover its surface were quickly copied as grease from human handling, a coating of carnauba wax from early 1800s, and the printer's ink from 1799. Can you see it's repeated here? So we don't really need to repeat this again. So I'm just going to remove this. Ink were cleaned away using cotton wool swabs and purified water. A small square at the bottom left corner of the face of the stone. Again, we already have the word stone here. Maybe we'll just leave it. Was left untouched to show the darkened wax and the white infill. Okay, so one more thing that you can cut down, it's probably adverbs. Any adverbs that you see, you can cut like this one, or copy. Okay, left untouched. I think 71 words, don't forget the full stop. It's totally fine, and this will be the answer here for us. Very simple. Another tip is that when you start writing, I think from the beginning you should put the full stop straight away. Yeah, so for example, if we put like when and put the full stop, because sometimes, and then just start writing from here, because sometimes you forget to put the full stop, and also sometimes the timing goes to 10 minutes and you still haven't finished, and the system stop from writing further. And if you don't have full stop, then you're going to lose a lot of points. I guess so it's better for you to put the full stop from the beginning.
Okay, so now let's move on to the essay part.
In essay writing, you have 20 minutes to plan, write, and revise an essay about the certain topic. And it's very similar to any essays that you've encountered before in IELTS or in any other English proficiency test. And in this one, you only have 20 minutes, but you have to write 200 to 300 words. But luckily for us, it's since we can type on the computer, 200 and 300 words will not be so hard for us to complete within 20 minutes, because typing is always faster than writing unless you're not very tech savvy. So again, very similar to some written text, you're going to be given the word count at the bottom and the timing on the top corner over here. So you don't have to count your wording. Okay, so let's have a look at some marking criteria over here. So yeah, this task only checks your writing, and the first thing that they will check is your content. You get 3 points if you adequately deals with the prompt. So basically what they want here, yeah, if you look at number 2 and number 1, like 2 points and 1 point is that if you don't deal with one minor aspect, or if you miss a major aspect or more than one minor aspect, means that you have to answer the questions that was asking from you in the essay. So whatever they ask you in the essay, you have to cover everything, all the aspects. And remember that the way they check your content is that they're comparing your essay, the keywords from your essay, with the database. For Pearson, they probably have thousands of essays like from those who score really high already in the past. And then they're comparing your essay with those people. And the more keywords, the more similar content you have, the higher your scores will be. And then secondly, if you get 0 point for the content, you also get 0 point for the whole essay, which is why you have to pass your content and you have to pass your form. With the form, try to write between 200 to 300 words. I recommend 250 words. It's just average word count, and you have time to proofread your answers too. You get 1 point if it's between 120 to 199 and or more than 300 or up to 380. So just keep it within 250 words. With development structure and coherence, with this one, better for you to use template to connect how you develop your ideas, how you connect your ideas, how you connect your sentences, and all of this can be done if you use more linking words, if you use a template. Okay, so with grammar, it's quite similar to summarizing text. It's just basic grammar. Try to not make too many grammar mistakes. If you make 1 or 2, you can still get a high score, so don't worry too much about it, but just try to avoid grammar mistakes as much as you can. Its general linguistic range and vocabulary range are quite similar. You have to use the vocabulary that are related to the topic. So if they're asking you the topic of education, so you have to have as many words related to education, like university, academic resources, so examination, assessment. Okay, the more keywords you have, the higher scores for vocabulary will be. And you can't use any slangs. It has to be academic words. So I highlighted spelling in this case because spelling is quite strict in PTE. You get 2 points if it's 100% correct. You get 1 point if you have one spelling error, and you get 0 point if there's more than one spelling error. So if you make one spelling mistake, you only get 1 point. But if you make 2 spelling mistakes, it's 0 for spelling. Okay, so they're very, very strict for spelling. With essay, yes, you can use a template. You can prepare your own template, or you can find any template on the internet. There's no particular template that you have to follow. But remember that try not to use a template that have too many words. So I've seen some templates that have 200 words, which is very detrimental to your score, because then you will not have enough room for your own content, for your own keywords. So just use a template that gives you enough room to also insert your ideas, your key points. And because you have only 20 minutes, it's better for you to start typing your template at the beginning, so that later on you just need to input your ideas. Remember that even though content is important, but it is less important than grammar and spelling. So check both of them very carefully, and don't try too hard to come up with some sophisticated ideas, because it's not what they want from you. It's more about how many keywords that are relevant to the topic, and if you make any grammatical mistakes or any spelling mistakes. So that's more important for you. And don't forget to check your word count carefully and follow the structure of 4 paragraphs and write between 250 to 270. So don't try to write too much. All right, so let's have a look at the template that we've got here. I'm just going to be reading the template first, and then I will show you an example of how you can use the template. The impact of something, the topic, you get the topic from the question, which was always debatable, has now become more controversial. While some people believe that, and you put one side of the topic, others claim that, and you put the other side. This essay will elaborate on both sides of the debate and thus lead to a logical conclusion. Okay, let's see how we can use this template. Okay, so for example, if we have an essay which appear quite often in PTE, the topic is about work-life balance, about how people work too much and then they don't have much time on their personal life. So in this case, we put the impact of work-life balance, which was always debatable, has now become more controversial. While some people believe that people can gain financial benefits by working more, others claim that it will have negative impact on their personal life. Okay, this essay will elaborate on both sides of the debate and thus lead to a logical conclusion. All right, and our body, in the body one, at the outset, there are numerous reasons why side one, but the most conspicuous one seems from the fact that, and you put reason one. As a matter of fact, you explain, according to a recent study conducted by reputable researchers at Harvard University, example, furthermore, this is not compulsory, so you can use furthermore, or you don't have to if you already have a lot of words. Furthermore, and then you put extra reason and explanation. So in body one, at the outset, there are numerous reasons why people can receive financial benefits by working hard, but the most conspicuous one seems from the fact that they can earn a higher salary and even promotion by dedicating to their workplace. As a matter of fact, they can use the income to support their family and pay for their living expenses. According to a recent study conducted by reputable researchers at Harvard University, most of the managers and CEOs in S&P 500 companies spend on average of 100 hours a week at their firm. Furthermore, some people are passionate about their job and are career-oriented, hence do not have time for their personal life. Okay, let's look at body two. The template for body two is nevertheless, like however, some people adopt an opposing view and tend to believe that, and you put side two, it is largely attributed to the fact that, and then you put reason two. To be more precise, explanation, for instance, and you put example, and then you put another reason if you want to. Moreover, extra reason plus explanation. Okay, let's see a sample. Nevertheless, some people adopt an opposing view and tend to believe that excessive work can have detrimental effects on work-life balance. It is largely attributed to the fact that their social life and relationships will be affected. Okay, it should be highlighted in red here. To be more precise, they might not have time to bond with family members or build new friendships. For instance, more than 50% of white-collar workers in the US accounting firms are reported to be single or divorced. Moreover, employers who work a lot tend to suffer from mental and physical health conditions. So those are our both sides of the debate. And now we have conclusion. In conclusion, while there are strong arguments on both sides of the debate, I strongly believe that an input side one outweighs side two. So in conclusion, while there are strong arguments on both sides of the debate, I strongly believe that the disadvantages of not balancing work and life outweigh the advantages. In conclusion, you have to write it simple. And my recommendation for you to be most efficient is after you write your introduction, then you write conclusion straight away. Because if you write conclusion straight away, then it's very easy, and also you don't have to worry too much about it. You can just focus on your body. Okay, just write introduction and then conclusion, and then come back to the middle and start writing body. So there are 5 mistakes that you normally make in writing. Firstly, you don't pay attention to timing. So you don't look at timing. You're so focused on writing, you don't even look at the timing. Then you suddenly look at the timer and it already only 1 minute left, or even like the timing already finished, but you haven't finished your writing. So always pay close attention to the timing. See how much time you have left to write. The second mistake is that you don't check spelling carefully. So the screen in the actual exam might look a bit strange compared to your laptop screen. And sometimes when you are in a rush, you might some minor spelling mistakes, but this is something that you have to constantly checking throughout your whole writing. Some mistakes is you mix UK and US spelling. Okay, so in PTE, if you choose one spelling, then you have to stick with it. Just one spelling throughout the whole writing. You can't mix two. If you choose UK, one of the summarizing text, then you have to write the whole UK spelling. If you choose US in another summarizing text, then you have to write in US. You can't mix two spelling in one task. So also, not focusing on other writing-related tasks. So as I mentioned earlier, writing points is not just about writing, not just about summarizing text or your essay. It's also about your reading, filling the blanks, reading and writing, your listening, writing dictation, summarize spoken text, and fill in the blanks. Those tasks are the ones that give you more points to your writing. And last one is you use grammar and spell check while practicing at home. Once you finish writing everything, then you use spell check and grammar check to check your answers. But generally, like throughout the whole writing, like while you practice, you don't use any spell check or grammar so that you know your real performance. And even when you join our classes and you do your homework, you don't use spell check. Yes, so you just write and you send it to me so I can give you feedback, and that will be your real feedback. Okay, so writing is something that you shouldn't be worrying too much about because the tricks will be working just fine, and the templates for the essay will help you all along the way. And you should save your energy and your brain to do reading and listening.
As you can see, essay writing in PTE is so much easier than any other English proficiency test. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and please apply the tips that I show you in this video so that you can score high in your exam. Hi, my name is Moni, a PTE trainer at PTE Magic. Welcome to PTE Express video course. In this video, I will cover the reading section, and specifically, I will show you PTE reading structure, scores distribution to the reading part, how to manage your time in reading, tips for multiple choice questions, tips for filling the blank tasks, and also tricks for reorder paragraphs. Okay, let's get started.
Next section in your exam after writing is reading, and we're going to go through the reading structure first. In reading, you have approximately 32 to 41 minutes, and you will have approximately 16 to 20 questions, which means that for each question, you only have 2 minutes. So around 2 minutes. However, not many students know this, and they tend to spend a lot of time way too much time on one questions, and then ending up not having enough time at the end on other questions. You have to manage your time very effectively.
In PTE reading, managing your time is very important because you only have 32 to 40 minutes. And meanwhile, you have limited questions, so you need to carefully calculate your time for each task. So let's have a look at time management in more details.
Okay, so it's very important for you to learn to allocate your time wisely. Filling blanks, reading and writing contributes to 35% of your score. So which means that you can spend more than 2 minutes for each question. So in total, if you have 32 minutes overall, then you should spend 40 minutes on filling the blank questions, because we want to make sure that we get the right answers. The minimum time spending will be for multiple choice questions because they only weight 5 to 10% of the overall reading mark. You have to remember that not only you're getting points for reading from the reading section. In fact, if you watch one of my YouTube video, although I completed my reading perfectly, I will only be getting up to 50 to 60 points in reading, even if my reading is perfect, because I have to get the reading scores from other sections like speaking, writing, and listening. And specifically in speaking, it's read aloud. In writing, is summary written text. And in listening is highlight correct summary and highlight incorrect words. So these are the ones that you should also be focusing on. You should also try your best to gain marks from these ones if you really want to get a good scores in PTE reading. For multiple choice questions, single answers is very straightforward. If you choose the correct answer, you get 1 point. If you choose incorrect answer, you get 0 point. And there's no negative marking in this task. In multiple choice questions, single, we normally have different types of questions. In this case, this is specific type of questions because it's asking you to find a specific information. The major division of CO people of North America are, and you need to find the answers over here. And in this case, I recommend you to straight away find keyword from questions, the major division of CO people in North America. So major division. If we skim through the text, we can find major division here, CO people just over here, and it's also located for North American people. Yeah, so the answer must be after this part. Okay, so they start listing what are the major division. Let's have a look. So they're listing 4 different names here, who together form the Santee or East.
Hi, my name is Monique, a PT trainer at PTE Magic. Welcome to PT Express video course. In this video, I will cover the reading section and questions.
Next section in your exam after writing is reading, and we're going to go through the reading structure first. In reading, you have approximately 32 to 41 minutes, and you will have approximately 16 to 20 questions, which means that for each question you only have 2 minutes. So around 2 minutes. However, not many students know this, and they tend to spend a lot of time PTE. Then how you get points here is based on pair. So this is one pair, this is one, this is one, this is in the paragraph. For example, the last one, I can see that they have it here, modern technologies, which is Eastern Division. Let's look at another one with the word division. Here we have Middle Division, and then somewhere here we have Western Division. So Middle Division, Eastern Division, and Western Division. Let's look at the answers here. So in the answers, I can't find anything about Eastern, Middle, and Western because they have also different names. Okay, so let's have a look at the names that they have. For Eastern Division is also Santi or Dakota. Let's see if we have Santi here. Santi here and Santi here. Okay, and then there's another one, Middle, or sometimes called as Nakota. Let's have a look at Nakota. Nakota here. So the answer must be this one. Let's have a look at the Western Division, sometimes called as Lakota. Okay, so Lakota here. So the right answer will be this one over here. Okay, so the way we found the answers is by finding the keywords in the question first instead of going through the option, and then finding the keyword in the text. Then you can locate the right answers just around the keywords from the question. Right, very straightforward. We're not going to spend too much time on multiple choice question single because this question doesn't give you a lot of points for reading. There's another type of questions in multiple choice question single is when they're asking you overall meaning question or general purpose questions. So normally with the general purpose question, we can find the answers at the beginning or at the end. That's where they give you introduction or conclusion. So let's have a look at this one here. We can see education in Australia is a state responsibility except in Canberra where it is funded by the government. So something about education in Australia, state, and then federal government. And then the last one, universities are independent. Something about universities of state again and are funded by the federal government. Okay, so now let's go to the option and see which one is more suitable for these two. So compare the key similarities and differences between government and non-government schools in Australia. In the introduction and conclusion, I don't see the comparison and differences for government and non-government schools. Okay, provide a brief introduction to the main aspects of Australian education system. This one might be because it has something about education in Australia. Okay, so advice on the ages of compulsory education in Australia. I don't see the ages from these two sentences. Explain the technologies and policies in place to assist those students living in remote areas of Australia. Again, yeah, I don't see anything about technologies and policies. So most likely the answers will be the second option here. But just to be sure, let's locate these ones, yeah, here in the paragraph. For example, the last one, I can see that they have it here, modern technologies, okay, to teaching in the bush, so in the remote area. So they have it here. And then advices on the ages of compulsory education. They have something about compulsory from age 5 to 6, 15 to 16. So they have it here. And then key similarities between government and non-government schools. So we have something about government and non-government schools over here. However, for these three over here, it's only included in part of the text. So it doesn't really give you like the overall meaning because it's only part of the text. However, this one over here, it includes all of these sections. Provide a brief introduction to the main aspects of Australian education system. So there are two approaches that we just use. For specific type of question, we go to the keywords of the question and then start reading our text over here, and then based on the answer that we found here, we start finding it from in here. In overall purpose questions, we start reading the beginning and the ending of the passage, and then read individual options to see which one matches better. We can also do exclusion method, and also remember that normally the wording should be different because they normally paraphrase. So in multiple choice questions, they don't give you the same wording. They will always paraphrase the answer. Firstly, focus on what you can understand. Sometimes you might get a very difficult questions which contain a lot of difficult vocabulary like astronomy, physics, biology. You don't need to understand individual words. You just need to focus on the overall meaning because you can guess everything else. Different questions, different approaches. I already showed you before. There are two types of questions. One is main purpose questions and another one is specific questions. So for both, you have two different ways to approach it. You can also use exclusion method. It really helps to eliminate all the right one, to eliminate all the wrong one, to identify the right ones. Lastly, this is not your priority. If you can't find the answers within 2 minutes, then just choose a random answer so that you have more time to do other sections. So now we have multiple choice questions, multiple answers, and the scoring goes with 1 point for the correct answer. -1, yes, there's a negative marking if you choose an incorrect answer. But if you, for example, if you choose all 3 answers as incorrect, then the minimum point is 0. So you're not going to get -3 points, but it's going to be just 0 point for the minimum score. So for multiple choice questions, multiple answers, the approach is quite similar to the multiple choice single answers. First of all, you need to read the questions very carefully to see what it's asking from you. And it's very similar to the other one. You have to highlight visually the keyword from the question. If the text is quite long, it's better for you to read the options first. So read through the options and find the keywords in the options. Find the most important keywords in the option, then go back to the text, locate the right paragraph or the right area where the answer might be. You read around them to find the answers and only choose what you are confident with. So don't choose something just for the sake of getting extra answer. So if you're only sure about one answer, then just choose one. It's fine. If you're only sure about 2, then just choose 2 answers. Okay. And if you're not sure about any of the answers, then just choose randomly 3 answers. Spend more than 3 minutes for these questions because you have to be dedicating time to the other sections in the reading part. The next one is reading reorder paragraph. In this task, you are given few different sentences in the incorrect order, and your task is to relocate them, so to place them in the correct order to make meaningful paragraph. And the way you get score is basically based on pair. I'm just going to show you quickly how it works. For example, if the questions consist of 5 sentences, A, B, C, D, E, and the correct answers is B, C, D, A, E. Then how you get points here is based on pair. So this is one pair, this is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So you get, in total, you should get 4 points. Okay, so even if you choose the correct first sentence, for example, B, and you chose correctly the last sentence like E, but if in the middle you chose A, D, C, then you can see that there's no pair here. There's no pair here. You still get 0 point. Yeah, 0 point for B, A, D, C, E. So the priority for you is not just only finding the first sentence, but you should aim to find as many pairs as you can, because that's how you get points in reorder paragraph. So in this task, there's no negative marking. The minimum score will be 0. Let's have a look at one of the example over here. The first thing you need to do when you do reorder paragraph is straight away find the topic sentence by elimination method. So we just go one by one. So the first sentence, the two traditions eventually merged. The two traditions, we don't know which ones, so it cannot be topic sentence. Another historical connection, there's the word another, so can't be the first sentence. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. Yes, this is quite general, so it can be the first one. I don't know yet. Thus, Halloween evolved. Okay, thus is a linking word for like conclusion, so probably not. It is related to an ancient Celtic festival. It is. I don't know what it is, so it also can't be topic sentence. So we have this one here as our topic sentence. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. So now we have to find a pair for this, and we need to find a sentence that is related to Halloween. Okay, and if you read it carefully, you can see that this sentence here, it is related to an ancient Celtic festival where people lit bonfires and wore costumes to ward off ghosts. And it is here is referring to Halloween. Yeah, Halloween is related to the ancient Celtic festival, which means that the second sentence will be E. Okay. All right. So now we're going to find another pair. So if you see here, it says the two traditions. So we have to ask ourselves which two traditions. So one is this one over here, and then the other one will be this one here in B. Another historical connections to Halloween. So this is one historical connection, and this is the second historical connection, another historical connection. So this one here, number 3. Okay, once we find these, yes, we know which two. Yeah, it's 4. And then as I told you earlier, it has the word linking word thus, then this is number 5 right here. Yeah, CEBAD. All right, so let's have a look at a few tips for reorder paragraphs. So first of all, we need to look into transition words. So any words that connect the sentences, normally it can't be the first sentence because we can't start the first sentence with transition words. However, in the real PTE test, sometimes you might get sentences that start with the linking word, which is why you have to practice with the real question bank. The next thing is personal pronouns. So if you see the word like he, she, it, him, her, they can't be the first sentence because we don't know who he is or who she is. Same as this one here, demonstrative pronouns like these, that, these, those. Generally can't be the first sentence because we don't know what this is. It can be this machine, yeah, this person. So next one is the full form versus short form. The rule is that always the full form should come before the short form. So when I refer to full form and short form, I mean the names. For example, if you say Bill Gates, that's the full form, but the short form will be Mr. Gates. If you say the United States of America, that's the full form, and the short form will be the USA. So the full form always comes before the short form. And the next approach is article approach. So if you have two sentences in reorder paragraph and one of them has articles or there's no articles, and then the other sentence containing the same noun but with article the, then the sentences that doesn't contain the will go first. For example, if we look at this one over here, you can see that the word fibers is appear in the first sentence, and the word fibers also appears here. But one has article the other one doesn't have it. Okay, so and the same word over here, fibers, and it also contains the word the. So the one that doesn't contain article the should go before the other two. Yeah, any of the sentences containing the same noun but has article the. So when you guys do reorder paragraph, first of all, find the topic sentence. But as I said earlier, your priority should be to find the pairs, because that's where you get points. That's where you get points in reorder paragraph. So it's even more important than finding the first sentence. Once you've chosen all your options, it's better for you to proofread, to read through the sentences once again as the whole paragraph to see if it sounds suitable, if it sounds about right. That way you can see if you made a mistake and you can fix it on time. And again, don't spend more than 3 minutes on this task because you have to save time for the other reading tasks. We're going to try one of the questions on our platform, ptemagicpractice.com. Let's firstly try to find the topic sentence. I'm just going to read through each sentence to eliminate the wrong one. Ne, an international student from Shanghai, China, began her Monash journey at Monash College in October 2006. Okay, by the way, I got this question before in my exam, and this is 100% real question. There she completed a diploma that enabled her to enter Monash University as a second-year student. Okay, so definitely not this one. This one can't be the topic sentence because it has pronounced she. We don't know who she is. Okay, next one. Now in her third year of study, again, pronoun her, and we don't know who she is, so it can't be the first one. Mechanical engineering student Nathan is spending the first semester of this year studying at the University of California, Berkeley as part of the Monash Abroad program. We have two potential sentences that can be the first sentence, but remember I told you about full form and short form. Yeah, so in this case, one sentence contains full form and another sentence contains short forms, which is this one over here. It contains full form. Nathan is her full name, and Ne is the short form of her name, so only her first name. So this one should go before this one over here. So we're going to select this one here. And then we're going to select this one. Yeah, we keep introducing this student, and then we say once she began to study at Monash College in October 2006, and then there she completed a diploma. She completed a diploma that enabled her to enter Monash University as a second-year student. Yeah, so after she finished 1 year in here, she entered Monash University and started her second year. And then this one here now, in her third year of study, the Monash Abroad program will see her complete 4 units of study in the US before returning to Australia in May 2009. Okay, so this will be our answer. Let's check the answers. Yes, so yes, all correct. The next task is fill in the blanks reading. You will get up to 5 questions in this task, so 4 to 5 questions in reading, fill in the blanks reading. The other name for this task is fill in the blanks drag and drop, because you have to drag the options and put it in the right blank. You get 1 point for each correct answer and you get 0 point for each incorrect answer. There's no negative marking, so it means you have to select all the answers. Okay, so with reading fill in the blanks, it's very important for you to identify the part of speech. So is it a noun, is it a verb, is it an adjective? You have to identify the part of speech in the blanks and in the options too. So if you still don't know differences between different parts of speech, so I highly recommend you to revise the basic grammar. We're not going to do it in this video course because it's an intensive video course. In the PTE, fill in the blanks, you will see a lot of different collocations. So if you practice as many of the real questions as possible on the platform, then there's more chance for you to learn more collocations. And the more collocations you know, the more likely you're going to choose the right answer in the exam. You need to understand the sentence structure. So how you can position different part of speech. So how do you position nouns with verbs, nouns with adjectives, verbs with an adverb? Okay, let's have a look at one of the example for filling the blanks that we've got here on ptemagicpractice.com. This is also a question from the real test, 100% from the real test. So we're going to see how we approach these kind of questions. As I mentioned earlier, the first thing that we need to do is to identify all the part of speech. So for example, this one here, let's have a look. Aggressive, adjectives. So you're not going to do this by typing in the exam. You can't do that, but you can visually analyze it. So 10 is a verb. Weakness is a noun, singular, by the way, singular noun. Lower is adjectives, or it can be also a verb to lower something, right? Competitive, adjective. Graduates, it can be a noun, plural, or it can be a verb singular, like he graduates college, yeah, something like that. Advantage, noun, singular, and workforce is a noun, and I think it's singular. So once we have identified all the part of speech from the options, we also need to identify the part of speech from the blank. So let's have a look here. Higher education qualifications provide a substantial. So after adjectives, we should normally have a noun, substantial, something in the labor market. Higher education, something, are less likely to be employed. Okay, we can see here it says are less likely. Are. The keyword here is the verb are, which is plural, right? And it means that we need to find a noun that it's also in plural. Here we should have noun, and we know that it should be in plural. Okay, are less likely to be unemployed and something to have higher incomes. To do something. So it should be another verb. Yeah, verb. And this verb should be plural verb. To have higher incomes than those without such qualifications. Having a highly educated something. So adjectives should be another noun. Yeah, so noun normally after adjectives. Highly educated noun can also lead to increased productivity and innovation and make Australia more. After more, we should have another adjective. More in the global market. Okay, so now that we have identified everything, let's find our answers. First one, a noun. Higher education qualifications provide a substantial in the labor market. So we have noun weakness, we have graduates, we have advantage and workforce. When you have a high education qualification, it provides weakness. No, in the labor market, no, doesn't make sense. Graduates, substantial graduates, no, doesn't make sense. Graduates means people here. Substantial advantage, yes, makes sense. Advantage in the labor market, and a substantial workforce. So it doesn't provide workforce advantage in the labor market. Higher educations, and here we have another noun that should be in plural. So which plural noun do we have? The only plural noun we have is this one here, graduate. So don't even have to read the sentence. We choose this one over here. Next one, are less likely to be unemployed, and another verb, and a verb in plural. So we have verb here, and this is the only verb we have. Also this one verb over here, the verb that I just removed was graduates, right? The word graduates, but it's a noun. So the only verb that we have here is the word tend. So tend to be unemployed and tend to have higher income than those without such qualifications. Having a highly educated can also lead to increased productivity, a noun. So which noun do we have? We have noun weakness and we have noun workforce. Weakness doesn't make sense here, and the only one is workforce. Can also lead to increased productivity and innovation and make Australia more in the global market. So adjective, which adjective? So we have aggressive, or we have lower, or competitive. So aggressive in the global market, no, not really. Lower, no, cannot go with the word more, right? And competitive, yeah, competitive is the most suitable here. So it makes Australia more competitive in the global market because they have highly educated workforce and also increased productivity and innovation. Okay, so these are our answers over here. So let's just check the answers. Yes, so everything is correct. First one, advantage, and then graduates, 10, workforce, and competitive. The next type of questions is fill in the blanks, reading and writing. Another name for it is drop down. It's also one of the most difficult type of questions in PTE. And in this task, you get points not only in reading but also in writing, which is why it's so important. You get 5 to 6 questions for this, and for each blank that you choose correctly, you get 1 point. And if you don't choose it correctly, then you get 0 point. There's no negative marking, so once again, you have to select all the answers. So with filling the blanks, reading and writing, you have to always try to read the sentences before and after the blank, because that's where you get the hint from. So there's some clue for you to find the correct response. Secondly, time management is quite important. On average, you should spend 2 minutes, but because this question is so important, you are allowed to spend approximately 3 minutes, considering the fact that you're going to be spending less on the other question types. So, for example, if there are 5 blanks, you should try to open all the blanks and see which one you can solve first. So remember that you have to complete and then you click next. So once you click next, you can't go back. That's why it's very important for you to manage your time. And thirdly, you have to practice with magic question banks. I recommend you to practice daily if you have problem with reading, because the truth is that a lot of students are looking for tricks, but there's no tricks that can help you if you don't know the vocabulary. So if you open the blanks, they give you 5 different options, and all the options, you don't know any of the options, you don't know the meaning of any of the word that is written there, then no trick can help you. Practicing will help you a lot, because you will have higher chance to get similar questions in your exam. Because all of the questions that we have on our platform are collected from the real test. So I'm sure you will get something from the platform in your real test. And if you find something similar, then you can get the solutions very easily. When you guys go to our platform and go to the reading, you can see all of the questions here. They are all from the real test, collected from the real test. When you select repeated questions, you will see that there will be less questions because they will show you the most repeated questions in the exam. And we don't really focus on the multiple choice questions because these ones over here, reorder, fill in the blanks questions are more important. For each questions that you go to, you can always find the answers. So once you finish selecting the answers, you click the answers and you can find all the correct answers over here. The more you practice, the more likely you're going to get similar questions. And it's very important for you to have a study plan to see how many you're going to practice for each day prior to your exam day.
So this is the end of the video course for the reading part, and please click to the next one to see the listening part.